everyone. Today we are going to go over the question, discuss factors influencing conformity. So what did I tell you about the command term discuss? There are so many command terms in psychology such as describe blah blah blah, explain blah blah blah, discuss, evaluate. But here, discuss is what? Weigh, balancing the strengths, the pros, cons, the strengths, and the limitations, right? Strengths and limitations of whatever the topic is afterwards. So here we are going to balance what? The factors influencing conformity. What's conformity? For instance, you see these two very similar length lines. For instance, like this. Not similar, very different actually. It's so different because this one's very tall, but this one's short. And let's say this person says, okay, why don't you pick a bar that is shorter? And there are 5 people before you who are picking which one's shorter. And let's say all these 5 people choose B as the shorter one. But obviously, instinctively, no, what? A is much shorter than B. So you go okay, should I say A or B? Because 5 people already before you, they have chosen B. So now you're thinking, and you just go okay, what if I'm wrong? Because the 5 people before me, they already chose B. So I think A seems right, but I'm just gonna follow them. So you choose B because of that reason. That's what we call conformity. Conformity is basically just following others' behavior without just any logic or reasoning. And even if you think something's wrong, you just follow other people because you just feel like you have to follow them. And so here, that's what conformity is, and we are going to now discuss how to write an essay based on this question, which is long answer question, LAQ. Short answer questions, you normally need just one study or none at all. But for the long answer questions, you need at least, I recommend you write about 3 research or 3 case studies in the essay. And for introduction, what we have to write is obviously the definition of what? Of conformity. That's what I just told you. And the definition as well as the 2 types of conformity. And you can see in the paper that I've given you out, there are 2 types of conformity that we can see, which are what? Informational and normative. Whoops, I'm just gonna and then informative and normative. So here I'm not gonna explain in detail what these 2 are because we're gonna go over it in the further class time. But I'm just gonna briefly outline how to write an essay based on this question. So for body paragraph, we are going to write about the factors now. So since the question is discuss factors influencing conformity, for body we're gonna write about the social and cultural factors that influence conformity. So why am I not writing about biological? So for instance, you choosing the shorter bar, that's not something to do with your brain or your genes inheritance. So we're not gonna actually we're not gonna use the biological factor, we're just gonna focus more on the social and the cultural factors. So you're just gonna write about a lot of maybe two case studies or research each. So I'll just write E for the research so that you know it's something like evidence. So 4 case studies or research are more than enough, I think, for the long answer question. And for the conclusion, the most important thing about conclusion is you must refer back to the question. That's the most important part. You must look at the question again. And just wonder. So what was the question exactly. The question was discuss factors influencing conformity. So in conclusion, you have to sort of, okay, the question was this. So I'm kind of going to summarize all my points in introduction and body, and then sort of, you know, like wrap it in a very pretty wrapping box and just write. So these were the factors influencing conformity, and as you can see, blah, 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 just wrapping up, basically summarizing. And for the detailed how to wrap up, kind of how to write the conclusion part, we are going to go over it in the next class. And thank you so much. This is just a demonstration class, demonstration video, so I'm just gonna end it here. But yeah, that's it for today.